All right, I think we're good.
Boom. What up?
What's going on?
Oh, fired up, dude. So we're going to talk about the Townhalls today and then everything kind of in between after that. And one thing that's really, really frustrating me is just reading the headlines after the Townhalls and the stark difference between both Townhalls and what people are trying to take from them. I mean, I think the polls say it all, man. Trump pulled back in, tied in Florida. He's up 1 in Michigan. And, the newest polls just came out today, and 5 points overall. If you go to the Real Clear Politics polling, 5 points in the general election. That's not much, Biden. You need more than that. And of course, polls sway. But my point is they're saying, if you look at CNN, New York Times, NBC, CBS, MSNBC, all the crazy, stupid platforms that you should not listen to. I don't want to say that. You should listen to them because you can kind of see how full of shit they are. But people that get their news media just from those platforms, that's why they're so warped, dude. 100% warped because they're such fear-mongers. I mean, they really think the president is in on QAnon. I mean, they want to ask a question about QAnon to give them a platform and then see, oh, guess what? Watch this, guys. Get that clickbait ready. Get that headline ready. Trump's not going to answer it, so get that headline ready. That's what we're going to do. And it's just like, it's divisive. It's not good journalism. It has nothing about the stimulus package. Fucking 20 minutes into it, and we'll watch some clips here. 20 minutes into it, Savannah Guthrie, terrible. Somebody fire her, please. Do you want to cancel culture? Cancel journalists that don't do their job. Cancel journalists that do a disservice to American people. That's who you should cancel. You want to cancel regular Joes who want to talk about who they vote, who they support, you know what I mean, and who they believe in. I don't care who you believe in. It doesn't matter. It's your American right. But you got journalists here who take a platform for millions of people and you push premeditated journalistic bullshit, and it's frustrating because all you want to do is get more viewership, take more of our money, and not care about the real things. The real Americans are hurting. Not one question about the stimulus package. It's all gotcha questions, and it's all gotcha journalism for 20 minutes, and no people from the town hall ask questions for 20 minutes. Ridiculous. Sorry, I'm heated.
That's our cold open for Dark Tree Media.
It's raw.
Just going right after it. Fuck it.
I was good, dude, until we started watching and preparing for this podcast, and we started watching. I was fine, and then the more I watch it, the more warped it is. I mean, Sleepy Joe over there was falling asleep in his chair, so every fucking question, he's like, okay, we're going to take a break. We're gonna take a break. I mean, do you really want Joe Biden in front of the guys? Can we wrap this up? I know it's only been 3 meetings, but Joe's got to take a quick nap, and then we're gonna come back. Do you want him in front of your world leaders? I'm not saying Trump's the best option. I didn't even vote for Trump last time, but damn, I mean, look at Joe Biden. He can barely take 2 questions before they have to take a break. He has to go to the bathroom or take a quick nap before meetings. I mean, I'm over it. I'm so over the media completely disavowing everything. They always attack Trump, and they never say anything bad about Joe Biden. It's gonna make them lose the election because the polls are starting to show it, and I'm just over it, dude.
I mean, I guess the real question is can they hide Joe Biden's flaws long enough that he still magically wins? Because they just focus on Trump, and then everybody just assumes that Joe Biden's just the nice guy. He just oh, sure, he's a little older and he has a little slower drawl, but I mean, everything's really fine.
I'm mad.
I just don't know if that's true or not.
I'm mad at America right now. America, because of the way we've been acting and because of what we've done, we now have the 2 oldest presidents, the 2 most out-of-touch people fighting for the most powerful position in the office. Whatever happened to Tulsi Gabbard? Shame on you, America, for not giving us Tulsi Gabbard. Something that's awesome, something that's tried and true, or somebody that can connect with us. Or Andrew Yang. Where's Andrew Yang at now? Oh, now he's stumping for Joe Biden? That's what we're going to do to these candidates? I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, people like Pete Buttigieg, for God's sakes. Like, he's an established person. Like, what are we doing in America? This is why we need a third party. This is why we started the podcast from the beginning. We need third party candidates because this 2 system, it's completely, it's ridiculous. The 2-party system doesn't work, and now we got the 2 most worst possible people biting for president, and I can't. It's ridiculous.
It's almost like it's intentional.
They're the same party. It is intentional.
Sometimes Jimmy Dore is so right on this stuff. Like when he's like basically we just have one big party. That's all we got. And and he's not really wrong. The only difference is like you get some people, because I don't really view Trump as a Republican.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why, so like when he's wanting to get out of the wars, I know a lot of the other Republicans don't want to get out of those wars. And there's some of the people that are intentionally trying to prevent him from doing it. Now, I'm sure some of the Democrats do want to get out of wars. I'm sure they do.
Yep.
But the Republicans are going to be trying to keep them from being able to actually do it.
First president in modern history to not get us into a major conflict. That is insane.
Yeah, when you're talking about that piece, because that's what these people, I argue with people all the time. And they're like, "What has Trump done?" And I'm like, "Well, okay, you want me to talk about his foreign policy? Okay, let's talk about he's the first president since Carter not to have a conflict during his first term, and then you go through Israel UAE deal, the Israel Bahrain peace deal, the Kosovo Serbia peace deal, 3 major peace deals in the last 6 months. He has been drawing down troops. I mean, he certainly didn't send a hell of a lot more troops to like Syria and other different bullshit places. And he's saying that he's going to bring the troops home from Afghanistan.
He stroked Putin's ego. He stroked, he gave Kim Jong-un a platform, which he shouldn't have done. I mean, this is how the media says this. President giving Kim Jong-un a platform. How dare he? Okay, what did they say about FDR? Motherfuckers. What about then? The person who was the biggest threat to American history died in office after multiple terms. Died in office.
I mean, he basically sat next to like Genghis Khan. And he's like...
He sat next to Stalin, if you don't know that reference.
He's fucking sitting next to Joseph Stalin. Who killed millions of his own people, and was just and I think he was a child molester.
You have to, though.
Like, this guy was, like, horrendous.
But you know what? Good leaders do that. And I'm not saying anything bad about FDR. I'm just saying that the people that will prop up and support FDR are so hypocritical of what's going on right now because they're partisan hack jobs and their tribalism has blinded them and has hurt them. Trump has broken people. He has broken their objectivity, their able-mindedness to see through an issue and see on both sides of an issue and say, hey, yes, Trump's an idiot. He does stuff that is so stupid all the time. And how many times were we watching that town hall the other night? I'm like, Trump didn't answer that question right. Trump didn't do that right. All the time. And because he doesn't. But it's kind of refreshing. The guy's a moron sometimes. I'm not a moron, but he
reminds me of just people in my family. Like there's people that I grew up with.
That's why he connects with people.
I'm like, man, that guy's, he was my uncle. He was this person. He was that person. Like, he reminds me of people that I know. And a lot of these politicians never did, right? They're like, because nobody in my family's ever, and they'll just blow smoke right up your ass. That's just what they do. They're total liars.
You're not talking about Barack Obama,
I'm talking about all of them. Specifically, Barack Obama is one of them.
Terrible.
And that's when I started learning, because I was so anti-George Bush.
Chicago's doing so well, Barack. I mean, you did such a bang-up job in Chicago. Great job. I mean, not only being a senator and being out of that area specifically, you did a really good job in Chicago. Oh, and then your counterparts that are trying to argue against Trump, they're doing a really good job in Chicago too. Chicago people will be way better off without you motherfuckers in office. You know what? Why are you guys voting for people like this? I don't understand. You know what? They'll make anybody, and what's gonna happen is, and this is mark my words, you're gonna turn these motherfucking areas Republican because people are only gonna put up their bullshit for so long. Decades of abuse by you partisan hack jobs, decades of abuse, and you think that this shit's not gonna come back. You think that we were that they were harsh to Obama? Because I don't remember much. I didn't really deeply dive into the politics until really right towards the end of Obama's term. But you think this shit's not gonna come back to haunt you guys? If Biden wins, I mean, you guys are setting us up for a disaster. They're setting. I'm not saying a civil war, but they're setting us up for a disaster because they're gonna all the tricks, all the bullshit they threw at the Democrats or the Democrats threw at the Republicans. It's gonna come tenfold back onto the Democrats, and I don't want that in our system. I don't want that in our parties, and I don't want it in our government.
The stuff with Barack Obama, what got me when I first saw him speak, at that because he did the 2004 Democratic National Convention or whatever. He was like the keynote speaker or whatever.
He was good.
And I was like, oh man, this guy's really something. I didn't know him before then. Never saw him before then. Didn't know anything about him. And then 2008 comes around, and I thought, at the time I was kind of a different person in some ways. Because at the time I was, this is before I knew a lot of the craziest Hillary shit.
Yep.
So at the time I was like, well, I might vote for Hillary, and then he starts coming up, and he finally gets a lead, and he actually wins. I didn't think he could even win. And then I started seeing this whole cult I saw the whole cult around him. Like everybody's talking about Trump's cult. And I'm like, and I started backing away from him because, I mean, it's not that I didn't like him initially. It's just, and it had nothing to do with necessarily what he was doing, even though he was like that smooth talker and whatever. And this is what they did. So then he just talked real smooth. The fucking media just went to sleep, didn't investigate any of his bullshit. And then they let him get away with saying things like, we didn't have any scandals during our time. Yep. I had this motherfucker attacking Trump the other day. And then he was like, well, what did Barack Obama do? So the first thing that I bring up was some of the wars he expanded to, like fucking Syria and then what he did in Libya. And this guy said those were justified. That's what he told me. He said they were fucking justified. This is a real person. Like, it's not like a fucking Russian bot.
Regime change wars justified?
And I'm like, dude, he didn't reply to me after my last comment. And I'm like, wait a minute. In Libya, there's literally the slave trade back in the fucking capital. There's the slave trade there. And what the fuck are we doing in Syria? And I started going through some of this, all the bullshit, and it's just like, he didn't have an answer for that because it is bullshit. And everybody who knows, I mean, it's fucking bullshit. There's no reason for us to be there.
He did nothing for Gaza.
Dude, and didn't he try to, and if I'm not mistaken, I don't want to be called wrong here, but I'm pretty fucking sure that he was trying to fuck over Netanyahu and get him out and fuck around
it's
their
on video.
election.
You can go to YouTube and you can YouTube the hot mic, him and the French president talking about Netanyahu, and then and Barack Obama's like, we'll have to deal with them all the time. You know what? But they're one of our solid allies in the Middle East. Fucking deal with them.
I mean, really, they were like our only one almost.
Yeah, they're crazy, Saudi Arabia, but but we pay to be their ally. There's pay for play, pretty much.
Yeah, but Israel's more of a natural ally.
But here's the thing: Clinton's Kuwait, Desert Storm, and then you get into George Bush. George Bush taking down Iraq, doing what his dad couldn't do. So going after Saddam Hussein, going into Afghanistan. Terrible, terrible wars, dude, and wars upon wars. And then the missile strikes. Have we even gotten to the drone strikes that Obama did? How many hundreds and thousands of innocent children and innocent civilians that were killed by drone strikes? He's the number one president, has the most drone strikes, Barack Obama.
Well, and he killed that American citizen who was, a 16-year-old kid whose dad, I guess his dad was a terrorist or whatever, and they weren't sure. From my understanding, they fucking knew that kid was there, and they killed him. They killed him, I mean, without a trial, without anything, and I don't think there was any proof that kid was specifically a terrorist. Either way, I guess we'll never know, because he'll never get a serve. I mean, he should have been arrested, right?
Andrew Snowden. Yeah. How hard did he go after Snowden?
All that shit. Dude, well, the Chelsea Handler stuff's the same way.
Chelsea Manning.
Chelsea Handler.
He went after her, too.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous. So you're going after Chelsea Manning, you're going after her, you know what I mean? And her story is crazy, you know what I mean? Because she's transvestite, right?
Not transvestite. I don't think you could use that. She, I think she had a sex change, right?
What is the proper term for that then?
Well, I mean, had a gender. Maybe she might have had.
I don't want to offend anybody, but I'm serious.
She might have had gender reassignment surgery. I'm not sure how far she went.
But that's cool.
I know she was a male, and then she became a female, and of course, it also has to do with. I think she was a male when she went into
the military. Into military, she was a male, right?
And then I think after she went into prison, I think it happened. I think that'll happen after whatever torture might have happened to her. So I have no I'm not upset at her at all. I mean, all that stuff needed to get out. I'm actually not that. When it comes to government leaks of things that need to come out, I don't really have a problem with it. I just don't like anonymous leaks. I don't like if somebody's doing the right thing. I don't like them being.
Webster hasn't taken it down yet, or Merriam Dictionary. So
you saw that shit, right? Well, no, because they took down sexual preference.
I know they did. That's why I was saying that. I'm like, I mean, where are we going in this world today? I'm not trying to offend anybody here. I'm just saying that that is a clear issue. Obama went after Chelsea Manning, which is ridiculous. You went after her.
Yeah.
Fuck you, dude. You know what I mean? And it's just but the cool thing about America is, even though that FDR sat with Stalin, if this were Russia, right now we couldn't be having this podcast because what's the CIA for over there?
KGB.
The KGB, who Putin used to be in charge of, by the way. The KGB would become knocking on your damn door. America's the freest, best country in the world. And I think that people need to start realizing that. And the media tries to convince you that we're evil and we're pushing like this evil in the world. And like, Donald Trump is the head of this, and he's the most dangerous president because he's going to push. If he was so dangerous, wouldn't we be in a war already? How about we really call for what it is? The most dangerous people in the history of our country are the past most recent presidents that have gotten us into these 20-year wars. George Bush, Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, and George Bush Sr. pushing war after war after war after war. And even Ronald Reagan, fuck him too. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, there's just still all these neocons, and they're kind of in both parties, because they're still like part of the Democrat and Republican establishment. And they're just, I fucking hate all of them.
I do too.
I fucking hate all of them. I want all of them removed. And
we can't do that without their party, and that's kind of what the gist is. I love how people argue with us; they really don't understand. You know what I mean? We don't like any of those people, and we call them out. That's the objectivity I'm talking about. That objectivity doesn't exist because of shit like we're going to watch right here. So let's go ahead and roll into the clips because I know we're a little bit in.
Yeah, I don't think you understand, Matt, that I'm just a Republican. It's not that that's what they say. They just say, "Oh, I'm a Trumpster."
The person who voted for Obama, by the way.
It's fucking crazy, man. Fucking crazy.
More than anything, Jesse's just a mainline media fucking person who propped up the two parties. So fuck you, Jesse.
Yeah,
I'm the third party voter.
No, I did. I voted for Kerry, and I feel like I should die inside because it was a mistake. But I was younger then, right? I was younger, and I hated Bush so much.
Oh yeah,
fucking hated Bush so much that he made me hate him so much that I voted for Kerry, and then I realized. That was when I started to realize, like, okay, this is a fucking game.
He was a terrible candidate, by the way.
Oh, Kerry was horrendous. Horrendous.
What were they doing, putting him up against... That's like putting Clinton against Trump.
Such a fucking
Democrats pick the worst candidates. There's history of this.
Well, and not that the Republicans, because I don't think John McCain was a great candidate. I don't think Mitt Romney was a great candidate. Especially, like, if you want to get somebody who's, like, so fucking distanced from the average person, you put up a fucking Mitt Romney type.
Yeah.
And he even drives me more insane now, like because he's acting just like he's part of the establishment. Like fucking drives me nuts.
When he owned what was that company
it started with a B, right?
Yeah, B.
Bain Capital.
Capital. Yes.
Right?
Yeah, something like that. I can Google it real quick.
Whatever the fuck, it doesn't matter.
I'm pretty sure it's Bain Capital. Yeah, it is.
Whatever the fuck it was.
Oh man, I can't stand Mitt Romney. He is evil too. Like he's not a senator. What are you doing? And you know what? But I will say this about Mitt Romney. He did help his people out with health care. But that's what I'm saying. If you make them earn your votes, I'm going to keep posting that on our page. I'm going to keep making these fucking memes. I'm going to keep posting it. Make them earn your vote. It's our responsibility to not say blue check or red check. It's our responsibility to make them come get your vote. Right now, they know you're going to vote for Biden or Harris because all these Hollywood motherfuckers that are out there, like, I love Will Wheaton, by the way. Like, he's an author. Like, I don't know who he is, but he did the narration for Ready Player One, and he did a great job. But I saw his fucking post today. He's dropping off his ballot, which thanks for voting. But he goes, fuck Trump. You know what I mean? He's like, hashtag Biden Harris 2020. I'm like, do you really know what you're doing? That's what you want to believe in. But I don't think you do. You're just part of the media. You know what I mean? You're not making them earn your vote. And that's what Jimmy Dore, I love him so much because he talks about that. He's like, oh, my Hollywood friends. And all the people that text him, he's like, fuck you guys. Like, I'm going to make you earn my vote.
And he's right. And Jimmy Dore's, he's absolutely fucking right. Okay, I guess we should go ahead and play this thing. Okay, so I hope the volume comes across properly.
It did on the last one, so
we'll see.
Let's roll with it.
It might be pretty loud at first because I turned it up a second ago.
Okay.
Every single day?
No, but I take a lot of tests.
Okay, and you don't know if you took a test the day of the debate?
Possibly I did, possibly I didn't.
No.
If they vote out before the election, you are open to expanding the court?
I'm open to considering what happens from that point on.
Don't voters have a right to know where you stand?
They do have a right to know where I stand, and I'll have a right to know where I stand before they vote.
So you'll come out with a clear position before Election Day?
Yes, depending on how they handle this.
Yeah, that motherfucker, dude. The whole court packing thing, man. I don't know. I assume I know what I have an idea of what you feel about it.
He just plagiarized that from FDR. Is what he did.
Yeah. But it's like, dude, if you fucking actually did pack the court, I mean, you would actually destroy the system, especially as polarized as we are now. People are like, well, it's not illegal. No, it's not illegal. It's been that way, I think, since like for the last 150 years, having 9 justices. If you did it in a polarized, because they were like, well, it's been, we've upped it before. Yes, I guarantee you, those times we did it, probably were not fucking as polarized as it is right now. And if you did that, then the next administration that came in, they would pack the court too.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's just going to get so ridiculous, and then it's going to completely just destroy that whole fucking branch of government. That branch will be gone. I mean...
People's stance on this is, you know what? If you want a Supreme Court justice in there, make sure... This all goes back to the simplicity of it all. Make them earn your vote. If you don't want Donald Trump, you should never have got Barack Obama in there for a second term. Donald Trump is a symptom of a problem here.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Dore says that a lot, but he is a symptom of a problem. You know what I mean? And you're complaining about him picking people. Well, he got elected. What are you going to do about it? You're going to try to circumvent, and you're going to try to pack the court now because you lost? How dangerous is that? You don't think and that's what I keep talking about. It's going to come back to haunt them. So everything with all the Russiagate bullshit, all this stuff, and Trump here, he needs. I wish he would just learn to answer questions straightly sometimes.
Some of them are really good, but I understand. I mean, I get what he's doing.
It bothers me.
Because the fucking person's basically debating him.
I know.
But let's go ahead and hit play again.
Expected to lose. If you look at the original charts from original doctors who are respected by everybody, 2,200,000
That
people.
2 million figure, though, is if you
We
literally
saved 2
did
million
nothing.
people.
We should be thinking
Go ahead,
about
pause
making
it.
it
How
mandatory.
could you enforce that?
Oh yeah.
Okay, here's what and this is I was listening to Tim Pool about this. When you're a moderator, you don't debate the person you're asking a question to. You don't push back on them all the time. Excuse me. What I mean by that is, what frustrates me so much is, Mr. President, why didn't you do a travel ban early on? Well, I did do a travel ban, Mr. President. Of the 2,200,000 deaths, do you think that was just because people weren't going to handle it? You ask questions to get them to talk. You're not the one talking. We want to hear from his mouth what's going on, not you trying to get a fucking clip grab.
Yeah.
That's all this is a clip grab. I don't want to hear you talk. I want to hear the president talk. I want to hear him drown himself in his own words in what he's going to say and how he's going to answer the damn question. Not you try to debate him, because what that does is it puts him on the defensive, so we're not getting the answers that we should otherwise have. Because if you were a real journalist and you were really good at actually asking the questions, you would make sure that the question is a way that you get the answer that you're wanting to. That's what interrogations do. When you're interrogating somebody, you want to get a question asked. It's how you propose a question. The way she's proposing the questions, it's so she can come back at him. And it's not set up. It's set up like that, and that's what I have an issue with.
I mean, it's going to look good on her LinkedIn. I mean, that's going to be...
Hashtag debated 2020. You know what I mean?
Oh, they'll know who she is. All right, so... Yeah, they're talking about the mask mandate.
How could he
Well, you
enforce
couldn't,
that?
but you can say, you can go to every governor and get them all in a room, all 50 of them as president, and say, ask people to wear the mask.
QAnon. It is this theory.
Okay, and then he continued on, and then he was like, they were like, well, do you want to fine him too, or whatever? Like, do you want to enforce it with the police or something? He's like, no, then I'll just go ahead and get the mayors in. Like, okay, so wait a minute. So you're saying you're not going to enforce it, right? What he means is he's not going to enforce it. He's going to get the mayors, like the people at the lowest level of governments, fucking local level of governments, to enforce that shit.
Dude, that is fascism.
Dude, it's fucking crazy.
That is fucking fascism. If you Google the definition of fascism, that's scary, because that means he, as the sitting president, the chief of the executive branch, what he's going to do, he's going to go into a mayor's office like, listen, we need to enforce this rule. Oh, so you're good. So what do we call that, people? Wolf in sheep's clothing. Guess who he learned that from? Mr. Barack Obama.
Well, I mean,
dude, fuck you for that. That is scary. You think Trump is an authoritative person? Trump never once mandated anything.
No.
You keep perpetuating these lies. You keep putting them out there, and all of a sudden you got Joe Biden, who just said that he would go to the mayor's office. He's not talking about working with them, and he said he would go there, get them all together, and they would. I don't believe it.
And he can control the funding, right? I mean, then he can okay.
It's conflict of interest.
Let's say if they don't do it, if they say no, like these states that tell them, well, no, go fuck yourself. then what?
Is he going to get their prosecutor fired?
Because then yes.
I mean, he's
only a fucking Hunter Biden lives, motherfucker, dude.
It's only right now. We're gonna you don't do this. I mean, he has the aptitude to do it, right?
You need to understand, Matt, that the whole Hunter Biden thing is fake. Okay,
I don't give a shit if it's fake. He has
I'm joking.
I know you are.
Everybody's saying it's fake. It's just fake.
He has a responsibility and a duty. He's running for the president of office. He has a responsibility and duty. I mean, you said that to Trump, right? Trump has a responsibility and duty to answer his questions. How come we're not holding Biden to the same fucking standard? We're not, and that is bullshit.
Did you see what his guy? He had a campaign, not advisor, but a spokesman or whatever, go on one of the news stations, and they were asking him about what Twitter did to that New York Post article, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So his campaign spokesman said, they were glad that they took it down, and it must mean that it's false. That's what he said in the interview. Like it's on film. And that's what he said in there, and it's like, you motherfuckers. So you're preaching like censorship, and then saying that must mean that the accusation is false because Twitter took it down. It's real fucking crafty, real crafty shit. But I was like, oh my god, dude, that's like,
it's scary.
Okay, so now we're talking about this is just I'm not even sure who this is from. We'll have to give
this is
props
QAnon
to whoever page we're still on this from. Maybe
we'll find out. We'll put it in the description. Or
okay, so yeah, now they're going after Trump for QAnon because I think he may have reposted something that said QAnon sometime or whatever.
Democrats are a satanic pedophile ring, and that you are the savior. Disavow QAnon in its entirety.
I know nothing about QAnon.
I just told you.
I know very little. You told me, but what you tell me doesn't necessarily make it fact.
So are you for it or against it? You say you're not for it, but in your web.
I just wish he would have just said, you know what? Because here's what his perfect answer would have been: you want me to denounce them too? Fine, I don't care. I'm the president of the United States. I got better things to do than worry about a conspiracy theory group called QAnon. I know Trump doesn't want to give an inch because if he gives an inch, he thinks they're going to take a mile. But
and that's the thing with Trump right now. He will never, because of the way he's been treated and just who he is anyway. He's never going to admit that he's wrong. And if he doesn't know who it is, he's not going to trust those motherfuckers because all they do is lie. So then he's just like, and he does go on and say, I heard they're against, they're really against pedophilia. I don't know if he knows that they're linked to Pizzagate, or whatever, but okay, so where are we at?
That picture of Joe.
A crucial framework. The Green New Deal.
My deal is a crucial framework, but not the new Green Deal. The new Green Deal calls for elimination of all non-renewable energy by 2030. You can't get there. You're going to need to be able to transition, George.
We are working very hard on the doc.
So there was a great piece, and this is from Jimmy Dore, so credit Jimmy Dore to this. We talk about him a lot, but I love him.
I love Jimmy Dore. He's the embodiment of like the anger of the United States, like average citizen.
So it's so funny. AOC and Democrats wrote a sternly worded letter.
I didn't watch that one. I saw the title pop up and I'm like, oh fuck, it's gonna be good. But I haven't watched it yet.
I was laughing so hard. So they wrote a sternly worded letter about how he should appoint people that aren't within the establishment or the corporate people into his cabinet.
You think Joe Biden gives a fuck, dude?
No,
it didn't
even go to Joe Biden. They sent it to I think Nancy Pelosi or somebody. They sent this. They didn't send it to Joe Biden even, which made me so angry. I'm like,
another person who doesn't give a shit.
They didn't have the balls to send to Joe Biden. So they wrote a sternly worded letter. It's what. AOC, I actually follow her on Instagram because I enjoy her. You always talk on Instagram and you give these these cool like inspirational speeches, and so you do all these good things. Where's your speech on Instagram calling out Joe Biden for his corporatalism, or calling out Barack Obama for pushing TPP or pushing all these corporate bullshit, like for making corporations human beings?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, where's it calling out all that bullshit? They don't do that. That's the spineless left right there. Far left.
The program.
Under your administration, no new applicants are allowed. And in fact, the DACA recipients now have to renew every year as opposed to every 2 years. So in fact, the DACA program has been curtailed by your administration.
Well, what happened is because of the pandemic, much changed on the immigration front.
Who do you owe $421 million
first of all,
to?
let me answer. What they did is illegal. What I'm saying is that it's a tiny
they cut this up a
percentage
little
of
too
my
much.
net worth.
That sounds
and
like
you'll
yes.
see that soon.
Did you hear what you needed to hear?
Okay, so this one.
I think so.
Let me cut it up a little.
Bulls.
Oh, so that's funny. They go to that one because we have this clip.
Did you hear what you hear? Did you hear what you need to hear? They didn't go. They didn't even answer. They didn't even do the first part of the question. What are they doing?
Yeah, I don't know why they would do that.
That was
because
like one of the best questions.
Well, there's a lot
we-
more if you're going to hang around afterwards. I'll tell you more.
Okay.
Bullshit. Bullshit on this cutting up.
No, but I really mean it.
This to. It's ABC.
Kansas City homeowners.
No,
if
buddy.
you have a-
Don't you talk to us. Don't you even talk to us.
That makes me so angry, though.
Did you want to listen to his question?
Yeah.
We don't have to listen to the whole thing because it's like
Yeah, you scale it back.
7.5 minutes.
Humphrey is a student from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, progressive Democrat.
It's a great question.
Don't jump, Cedric. You look like you're way up there.
I'll be okay. Thank you, George. And good evening, former Vice President Biden. Many people believe that the true swing demographic in this election will be black voters under the age of 30. Not because they'll be voting for Trump, but because they won't vote at all. I myself have had this exact same conflict. So my question for you then is, besides you ain't black, what do you have to say to young black voters who see voting for you as further participation in a system that continually fails to protect them?
Well, I say, first of all, as my buddy John Lewis said, it's a sacred opportunity and right to vote. You can make a difference. If young black women and men vote, you can determine the outcome of this election. Not a joke. You can do that. And the next question is, am I worthy of your vote? Can I earn your vote? And the answer is, there's two things I think that I care, and I've demonstrated I care about my whole career. One is, in addition to dealing with a criminal justice system to make it fair and make it more decent, we have to be able to put black Americans in a position to be able to gain wealth, generate wealth. And so you look at what that entails. It entails everything from early education. That's why I'm supporting making sure that we in Title I schools, as you know, schools with the least tax base to be able to
Let me jump around in this because I
support
know
them.
this is kind of. He never answers this guy's question. It's just never answered in the whole thing. And that's why the guy at the end, he's like, did he answer it? And he's like, no. Well, he says, I think so. But you know in his head, he's thinking, no, he didn't. He never fucking answered my question. And he never did it. Joe never answers this question.
Awarded
He's still talking, dude. This is a 7-minute clip.
Laboratory ability to compete for cybersecurity.
7 minutes, and he
laboratory. The
never
federal government
answers this
spends
guy's
billions
question.
of dollars a year
Like, it just-
on universities because they are the best kept
Look
secret
at his
of where
face.
most
He's
of
just
the
like, what are
major
you talking about?
Yeah, he's just like, this motherfucker is not answering my question this whole time. Like, it's just.
Why don't you address? Okay, you know me. You know what the highlights would be of this? Trump didn't answer the saying if you're not black, you don't vote for me question. Not one clip of that about Biden. This is what I don't like about the media.
You want to go to the highlights from Donald Trump because this was actually the good one, right?
I think so.
I think this was the good one, where it was pretty decent that we can actually like listen to for a while.
You were asked point blank to denounce white supremacy.
I denounce white supremacy, okay?
You did
I've
2 days
denounced
later.
white supremacy for years, but you always do it. You always start off with a question. You didn't ask Joe Biden whether or not he denounces Antifa.
Let me ask you about
True.
QAnon. It is this theory.
Yeah, so the white supremacy thing, like he just destroys that whole narrative because that's what they pushed after the last debate because they randomly pull it out. Like there was no reason to even ask him about it because they were talking about everything that's gone on. I mean, what in the last year has anything to do with white supremacy? Like what does any of that shit have to do with white supremacy? It just happened. Any of these riots, any of this stuff, this wasn't done by white supremacists. This was done by like Antifa and crazy, like the really crazy Black Lives Matter people who were doing some of this stuff. It had nothing to do with white supremacy, but instead of asking anybody to denounce, Antifa, they went after white supremacy. It was so bizarre.
I thought so. And then, the whole police brutality thing too. I think it links more to non-training and not holding people accountable than it does in our criminal justice system overall. Then it really holds itself to white supremacy. So I think and the fact that they're hitting them on it, it's not working. People see through that. It's not working.
It's just we'll keep going. They're going to talk about the QAnon bullshit.
Democrats are a satanic pedophile ring and that you are the savior of that. Now, can you just once and for all state that is completely not true
So,
and that disavow
I know-
QAnon in its entirety?
I know nothing about QAnon.
I just told you.
I know very little. You told me, but what you tell me doesn't necessarily make it fact. I hate to say that. I know nothing about it. I do know they are very much against pedophilia. They fight it very hard, but I know nothing about it.
They believe it is
If
a
you'd like
satanic
me
cult
to
run by the deep
study
state.
the subject, I'll tell you what I do know about. I know about Antifa, and I know about the radical left, and I know how violent they are and how vicious they are.
Do you have any remaining?
Yeah, I love all that. I mean, I guess we should see what this next piece is.
Nothing whatsoever. I'm great. I feel
Just the
good.
COVID stuff.
In particular, did you have pneumonia?
Well, I'll tell you what happened. I didn't feel good. I didn't feel strong.
I would assume that he wouldn't have had pneumonia because it happened so fast. You think it would have stuck with him.
As you can imagine. And they really didn't want to take a chance, and they said, let's go to the hospital.
I guess he doesn't answer the
I'm
question,
gonna,
but it seems like he recovered so
respond to
quickly
what
he couldn't
say.
have had pneumonia.
You also are a leader and a setter of an
You wouldn't think.
example. And if you're not wearing a mask when your administration is saying best practice right now is wear a mask, no, it's not foolproof.
But many
that
people
will
are catching it. Many people are getting this disease that was sent to us by China, and it shouldn't have been allowed to happen. But many people are getting this, and I mean, nobody's being blamed. Everybody is working hard to get this thing out of our country, get it out of the world. Look at what's going on in Europe. Massive spikes. They've done a very good job, but now you take a look today at the UK, you take a look at Spain and France and Italy. There's tremendous spikes.
But our death rate is worse than, well, not Spain, but those
Well,
other
I
countries.
have things right here that will tell you exactly the
It's very-
opposite.
it's very
too.
close to all
The
those
UK
places.
is up
Our death rate.
2,500%, because I knew you'd be doing this. I know you very well. The UK is up 2,500%.
He's witty, dude.
The EU is up 722%, and the United States is down 21%.
But we have, our deaths per capita is among the highest
Excess
among industrialists.
excess mortality, we're a winner. Thank you.
Of taxes,
I
as
I
you
think
know,
he's
the New
actually,
York
I think
Times
he's
has
actually right
obtained.
about that. I've heard.
And here's one thing they don't talk about, and Andy talks about this every time she can. I wish she was here for this because we talk about comorbidities and the death rate in America and why and how many people had comorbidities that died with COVID. So that means if you had diabetes or any other pre-existing conditions.
Yeah, obesity, heart disease, all kinds of stuff like that. What is it? I think it's like 93% or something, whatever it is. 94% of people that died had these other. I mean, now that doesn't mean they still weren't killed by COVID or that COVID didn't,
COVID probably killed
Whatever.
them. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that the way she's asking questions and the way she's trying to force you're not being a journalist here, and it's garbage.
I mean, it is upsetting.
It says years of your tax returns, among other things. It says that you have debts of approximately $421 million that you have
That's it?
personally guaranteed
After all those
that will
buildings he
come
owns?
due in the next 4 years. The question is, on behalf of voters, who do you owe $421 million
Okay, first of all, let
to?
me answer. What they did is illegal, number one. Also, the numbers are all wrong with the numbers they released. And just so you understand, when you have a lot of real estate, I have real estate, you know a lot of it, okay? Right down the road, Doral, big stuff, great stuff. When I decided to run, I'm very under-levered, fortunately, but I'm very under-levered. I have a very, very small percentage of
Couldn't pause
debt
that.
compared, in fact, some of it.
So
I
what he
did as
means
favor-
is he has enough capital that he could sell off and be fine.
And that's what everybody's saying. Temple was saying, because Temple he did like a breakdown video of this stuff, and from my understanding, it's very true that he doesn't actually want it. And I think Rising did it as well. That he doesn't necessarily want to sell these properties, and maybe he won't have to. But yeah, some of that stuff does come due, and I mean that's true. But
He's lost a lot of money becoming president.
yeah, and they were saying from like COVID specifically. I saw. I'm not sure if it was in Forbes or what it was in, but they were showing him going from like 3.7 billion to like 2.5 billion since he's been in the presidency. And I don't know if we have any clips of her, but I love this girl back here.
Oh yeah, just nodding. People hate her now.
Yeah,
dude.
I love her so much.
It's
I mean, when I watched this live, when we watched it live, it was
How
so good.
horrible they treat conservative women it's ridiculous. So she likes the president. Who cares? Do you think the NBC is as good as stage somebody behind Trump? Please, like get out of here. Like it just the narrative that people are pushing. You know what? She likes Trump. Good for her. That's fine.
Good, cool.
I don't care if you like Biden. Good for you. Don't care. My only thing is if you tell them. If you don't make them earn your vote, that's when we get shit like this, and it makes me angry.
Institutions that wanted to loan me money. $400 million compared to the assets that I have, all of these great properties all over the world, and frankly, the Bank of America building in San Francisco. I don't love what's happening to San Francisco.
Well, do I hear you right? It sounds like you're saying $400 million isn't that much.
One of the biggest office buildings.
But are you confirming that, yes, you do owe some $400 million?
What I'm saying is that it's a tiny percentage of my net worth.
You're just a debater. You're not a moderator. You're debating the president, and that's fine. If you want to debate the president, ask him to debate you. But when Chris Wallace was up there and he's like, "Guess I'm debating both of you guys tonight." I mean, Trump's witty and he's still with it. But if you go back to do me a favor, I want to show people how they treated Joe Biden. George Stephanopoulos did a terrible job with Joe Biden. He sat back like he was having coffee with him and just talking to him on a Sunday morning, on his Smoke Out the Spin episode. And it really drives me crazy because if you're going to have a town hall, the narratives need to be the same. But they're not. You treat Trump the way you treated Trump, and you give Biden a break every 2 questions. You don't ask him hard questions. No hard follow-ups. You know what I mean? He never cuts Joe Biden off.
I'm trying to see if I can find a good clip of it. Oh, and that's just that is the latest one, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Because remember we had the old Trump one.
Yeah.
Just
hit that one real quick.
Yeah, let's see if this is like.
There's like laughing together. It's like, oh, buddy. But people should know that he was part of Obama's campaign.
Oh no, ads.
I know, I hate ads.
Such bullshit.
Just turn the screen off on it.
Hey, good morning.
In the main. Fucking Amazon. I could need more money.
Former Vice President Joe Biden, just 19 days until the election in this country.
Shut up, dude.
Of course, voting already underway.
Just
more than
scrub it.
We did hear the pandemic. Whether he take
the
back
whole time. Shut up, dude.
Repeatedly.
Oh, damn
What is Joe Biden waiting for on this?
That's okay.
And Mary, stick with us on this. He did say he.
Stupid Joe Biden. I totally.
That's okay. We can forget about it. But the way they treated it, and it's very concerning. That clip is bullshit with the mask.
Yeah.
It's by NBC News.
No, don't say that.
That's what I'm saying, dude. It's all a narrative, and Americans are not gullible. I mean, sorry, to the back, but they're going to see through this bullshit. It's been going on for how many years? How many times have they promised us they're going to catch Trump? They're going to take Trump down. Trump's going to get out of here. He's a Russian agent. Putin's got him underneath. Putin's got something on Trump. His tax returns. If only we had Trump's tax returns, we would know about Putin. Guess what? We got Trump's tax returns. Where's the story about Putin? Do you think if they found something, it'd be the first thing they say? Oh, look. No, you know what they do instead? Nancy Pelosi puts up the 25th Amendment. Do you know why? Because after Joe Biden becomes president, that 25th Amendment's going to become very capable.
Yeah,
I mean, guess who's going to become president? Kamala Harris.
I'm trying to find it. They just had a.
I'm not trying to peddle conspiracy theories, but just saying.
CNN just had an article that goes perfectly with this. Damn it. Because I'll look for it for a second because it goes perfectly with what we're talking about right now. Damn it. I'm going to see if I can pull it up because it was on their front page just this morning. Where are you at? I'll know as soon as I see the damn thing. Damn it. Come on, man. It's got to be within the last 2 days. It's got to be within the last 2 days.
They become panders. They're not a news organization anymore. They are an extension of the Democratic Party.
It's about because the whole article is about Trump being prosecuted. Yeah, the whole Ice Cube thing. Did you see that thing?
That was funny.
It was so hilarious. It was so. Oh, come on, CNN. I could find it on my phone in a second, dude.
What's it about? Just go ahead and explain it.
It's about It's talking about how Trump, if he loses in the election, that he is basically in complete danger of being arrested for all this stuff. And for some reason it didn't pop up right away.
How dare they do that, dude?
Isn't it so ridiculous? I mean, it's just so upsetting.
I saw that yesterday.
It could have been an opinion, but I'm not sure. I don't think it was.
Go to opinions.
I didn't think it was in
right
there.
Here.
Because I just didn't feel like it was one of the opinion ones. Because I know what the thing looks like, but it doesn't. I'm just not seeing it. But it's such bullshit. I'm sure.
Go to politics real quick. Let's try politics.
But I don't understand why it's not. Because I can get rid of the prosecutor and just go with Trump. because I can't remember the exact title. I'm sure I could find it easily on my phone. Such bullshit.
It's okay. But no, that is true, though. You do not want in America presidents prosecuting other presidents. And then Biden wouldn't rule that out the other night. And you don't want that, because that's dangerous. Because because Trump never, went after Hillary. Like he lock her up, lock her up. They never forced that or pushed it. He might be trying to now, but I don't want that. And if he does, I think they need to oust Trump. I don't like that. You do not arrest your political rivals. It's dangerous territory.
I was hoping he would leave her alone as well. Okay, there it is. I found it now. I found it. Just absolute.
The legal reckoning awaiting
ridiculous.
Donald Trump if he loses the election.
That fucking CNN would post this kind of bullshit.
Yeah,
it's just so upsetting, dude. It was so incredibly upsetting. And it's just talking about, it's just pushing this idea.
It's
that's
Chevy
part of the
truck
left.
month.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
It's deck build.
I'm just going to close it. Because we didn't need to go through the whole article anyway, unless you really want to.
No,
but it's just,
I get the gist of it.
The whole idea, just that he would be prosecuted after all this. And I know the left would love it. They would eat that up. They would love to prosecute the Trumps. I think a lot of the left, they tell me they want them dead. And it's like, I know it's not a very large percentage, but people online who are my friends, they were my friends. They're not anymore. Because as soon as you pull that kind of shit, or if I'm talking on a friend's wall and somebody's saying that they want them dead, like they were doing with COVID, I got rid of quite a few people. Thank God.
You just can't do.
It's sickening. You're a loser. You're a pathetic human being. You're trying to see Trump's all this bad stuff, and then you're wishing death upon people and all this different stuff just because you disagree with them politically.
Why is he wearing a wedding ring?
I have no idea.
It's weird to me.
Maybe he forgot it. It could be that simple.
Well, and here's how scary it is. So we can wrap this up here in a minute. But here's what terrifies me about this. You look at cancel culture. You look what they're doing to Joe Rogan on Spotify.
Yeah, that shit's fucking ridiculous, man.
It's in what that would mean.
He's gonna win that.
What that would mean for everybody else. It's scary, and it's very daunting, and I don't like it. And this is the result that we get. And for CNN just to pull half the shit they do, I would love to sit down. I would love to talk to that author. I would love to talk to him, because you get them without their little keyboard and their little editorial process. You get them on a one-on-one conversation, they're garbage. They just fall apart. And that's the thing is, you start pushing people to speak objectively and to speak like truths, they can't do it. They're in such a facade. They're in such a fantasy world that they can't actually objectify what they believe. And you know what? It's breaking up friendships. It's tearing down groups. And the reason is because it's hard to be around people that are no longer a symbol of themselves, because they lose all identity because they can't be objective anymore.
The whole thing, obviously it's all upsetting. And I've been pissed off for a while at all this stuff. And I don't know, it's just so incredibly aggravating, dude. And you have all these people, and I don't even know if they believe it. I'm not sure if that guy believes it or if he's just putting it out there because it'll get clicks.
It'll get clicks, dude.
But it makes the world worse too. Like, just putting it out there and doing that, it makes everything worse. The more and more shit that gets out there, it makes things worse. But they don't care. That's the one problem. When you're talking about a capitalistic system, and then when it hits the media, it becomes this really fucking gross, grotesque fucking monster, where they're just trying to get certain clicks and all this different stuff, and it doesn't matter how much they're fucking up society. It doesn't matter how they're adding to all the negativity and just the disgust on everything. It doesn't matter. They're getting clicks, they're making money, they're doing this and they're doing that, and they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck.
That's my problem with it all.
I don't know. Is there anything else you want to say?
I think I'm good.
All right.
It's been a good one.
All right, so let's say goodbye on this one.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.